According to RCDB, 236 different roller coasters opened up across the globe in 2024. Most of those were smaller kiddie coasters, but there were some notable coasters that opened, particularly in Europe. I was fortunate enough to ride most of the big ones that debuted, so in this video, I will rank the top 15 new for 2024 roller coasters that I personally experienced. Before starting the list, I need to note a few things. 1. This was a relatively light year for new coasters in the United States. Six Flags fell behind on construction for both Flash Vertical Velocity at Six Flags Great Adventure and Georgia Surfer at Six Flags Over Georgia, so both were pushed to 2025. Then arguably the country's most notable coaster to open in Top Thrill 2 at Cedar Point operated for roughly 1 week before closing for the rest of the season. 2. I will include some honorable mentions. 1 for the best non-coaster that I experienced in 2024, and another for coasters that underwent a large refurbishment, dramatically changing the on-ride experience. On that note, you will not see Lightning Rod at Dollywood with the chain lift on this list, simply because I have still not experienced that coaster ever since the launch was removed. 3. I will show the expected ranking for my most anticipated coasters of 2024 video to show whether or not a coaster exceeded my expectations. That ranking will be adjusted to remove attractions I did not experience, whether it be because I did not make it to the park, or because that coaster never opened. For example, I had Mooka at Wbon Alps as my 7th most anticipated coaster in 2024, but there were 4 rides ahead of it that I did not experience, so it instead will be listed as my 3rd most anticipated coaster. Starting off the list at number 15 is Alpenexpress Enzian at Europa Park. This is a Mach-powered coaster winding through the rebuilt Austrian section of the park. No notable forces here. This is more of a scenic journey that interacts with the adjacent log flume and play area. I preferred the original version that included the indoor cave sequence, but this is still a solid successor. Number 14, Honey Harbor at Energylandia. This is a Vekoma Junior coaster. It has some fanciful theming around it. The layout has a pinch of force on the turns, then there's a dip midway through offering some weightlessness in the back. And as with all new Vekomas, it is immaculately smooth. Number 13, Quest at Emerald Park. This is a Vekoma family boomerang running over and under the park's new inverted coaster. This yields some fantastic visuals both on and off ride. I also love the castle turret housing the far spike. And the ride could look even better next year when the theming is fully completed. While the bunny hills are light on the forces, they have solid pace going forwards and the backwards motion is fun. The initial drop tickles your tummy and back, then the far spike offers some weightlessness in front. Number 12, Good Gravy at Holiday World. This is yet another family boomerang from Vekoma. The forces felt nearly identical, but I preferred the quirky theme here. The queue takes you on a tour of Grandma's house. Then the layout passes some oversized cookware and food items. Number 11, Minifigure Speedway at Legoland Windsor. This is yet another family boomerang, except this one is from Zier. This one has a few advantages over the Vekoma ones already mentioned. 1. This one has 2 tracks that duel, so you have some exciting visuals and the competitive racing element. 2. This one has better forces. The low turns offer solid positive Gs. Then there is a spot or 2 with some light air time. And since the far spike is booster tires to pull you to the top, both the forward and backwards legs are equally as fast and forceful. Number 10, Choco Chip Creek at Energylandia. This Vekoma mine train is the anchor attraction of the new Sweet Valley area. It has some nice theming. There's a pre-show at the start. Then the main layout pierces through some themed structures. A few were not fully completed, but they still offered some thrilling near misses. The layout is on the milder side, but it is a lengthy experience with 3 lift hills. Number 9, Fey Explorer at La Paul. This mock water coaster is a more dynamic coaster section than usual. There's a large drop at the start, a speed hill with some airtime, and a large wave turn. This part does have a shake on any directional change though. Then this part culminates with a large splash that is surprisingly far more soaking and back. Usually, it is the other way around with these. The overall attraction is then plussed by some nice thematic elements. Number 8. Iron Menace at Dorney Park. This is a smaller B&M dive coaster, but it starts off with a beyond vertical drop with some great floater airtime. Then, you have 4 consecutive inversions. This results in good pacing, especially since there's no mid-course brake run. The Immelman and Tilted Loop offer nice Gs, then the final corkscrew offers some float. However, the 0G roll oddly is a miss. But the biggest issue with this coaster is the rattle, which is most prevalent on the edge seats. Then the final turn is a very odd jolt. The older dive coasters were super smooth, making this all the more disappointing. It is still tolerable, but you can get a headache if you marathon it on an end seat. Number 7. Gold Rush at Drayton Manor. This is an innovative family coaster from Intamin. This ride offers 2 distinctly different cycles through the clever use of switch tracks. Cycle 1 travels forwards up the lift at the start. Later, you travel up the lift backwards and head back in the direction from which you came. Cycle 2 stops atop the lift at the start, sending you through part of the course backwards. You then head over the lift hill to complete the circuit later. It is a neat concept that gives the coaster a lot of re-ride value. Then the elements are plentiful and enjoyable. They are not crazy forceful, but they are peppy with small bits of airtime, laterals, and Gs. Then the initial launch is fun too between the oomph and theming. And on that note, the whole ride is nicely dressed up with some themed buildings and western paraphernalia. Number 6. AllAmerican Triple Loop at Indiana Beach. This is a relocated Schwarzkopf looping coaster. It previously ran as Chimera at La Feria de Chapultepec in Mexico. I experienced that coaster there, and it was the single most intense coaster I ever rode. It was a combination of the speed, crushing positive Gs, and high elevation. The experience was toned back at Indiana Beach. The biggest changes were to the trains. For much of the year, it operated with shoulder pads. This is how I experienced the coaster. I didn't mind them because I knew to keep my body stiff, but I know they were a major source of discomfort for others. Thankfully, these were removed later in the year, and now operates with just a lap bar. The more impactful change for me is that the coaster now is just a 3-car train, instead of the 5-car train it had in Mexico. So you take the layout with far less speed. The first few drops are still sharp, and the vertical loops still offer strong positive Gs, but they are no longer blackout inducing. And the ride does fizzle out by the end, but I really enjoy that first half. Number 5. Bobcat at Six Flags Great Escape. This is a Gravity Group family wood coaster. It has 2 key changes from the prior versions. 1. It was built entirely with the company's pre-cut track. This results in a smoother ride experience. 2. The airtime is milder. It is still plentiful and frequent, but it is much more floaty and graceful. Several of the older small-scale Gravity Groups had bona fide ejector airtime pops. I personally prefer that type of airtime, but I get why the park and/or Gravity Group dialed the airtime back to make the experience more appropriate for the family demographic. Up next is a refurbishment with the Wave at Drayton Manor. This is a conversion of the park's former Intamin stand-up coaster known as Shockwave. Guests now sit in art engineering trains. I expected this to feel similar to your average B&M looper, but this ride had a lot more character. The inversions each have their own quirks. The vertical loop has solid Gs in the valleys, and some hang time at the apex. The 0G roll really should be called the -1G roll, as it offers sustained, inverted ejector airtime. Then the final 2 corkscrews have decent snap, and they wildly throw you forwards if you're sitting in the front right seats. This coaster is short, but I love the elements it has, and the new train tracks really well. Number 4. Nafina Force at Emerald Park. This was the second suspended thrill coaster or STC from Vekoma. This inverted coaster is a dynamic layout doing a little bit of everything. It has some spots of high positive Gs, particularly on the initial overbank. There is some good whip on the inversions and low turns. Then there are a handful of airtime moments, particularly on the bunny hills in the second half. I heard some say it had ejector airtime, but it was all floater for me. Still, any negative Gs are a welcome addition to an inverted coaster. This ride has great pacing and is super smooth, and it offers nice visuals as you narrowly avoid the aforementioned quest. Up next is another refurbishment with Nemesis Reborn at Alton Towers. While not an entirely new coaster, most of the track on this B&M invert was replaced, and new theming elements were added, most notably a stunning new monster that interacts with the trains as it cycles by. Then the ride is as great as before. It is a shorter invert, but I love the unique layout, extensive terrain use, and forceful elements. The inversions all have great whip, and I love the intense positive Gs in the downwards helix. I know some have found this ride to have a rattle, but I found it very smooth outside of the final turn, which just had a bit of a vibration, but nothing too bad. Number 3. Mooka at Wbon Alps. The second Intamin Hot Racer shows what the model is truly capable of. This is a dynamic and diverse coaster. There are 2 tire-driven launches, both with surprising power. There are a handful of hills with strong ejector airtime, most notably the iconic outer banked top hat. The valleys and transitions offer good positive Gs, and there are 3 inversions, with the last 2 rolls really standing out between the near misses and airtime. But the most notable feature is the ride's pacing. I cannot believe this ride's top speed is just 42 miles per hour, or 67 kilometers per hour. Between the low elements and rapid fire sequencing, there is not any dead space in this ride, and the coaster is quite a bit smoother than the prototype Hot Racer, making it super rideable. Up next is the best non-coaster I experienced in 2024, and that would be Tianas Bio Adventure at Magic Kingdom in Disneyland. This is the renovated version of Splash Mountain. While I prefer the charm and nostalgia of the prior attraction, I understand why Disney updated the theme, and the new version is still a fantastic attraction. While there are less animatronics, the ones included look amazing, and they're now timed to perform as the logs pass by. Add in some wonderful music, and the dark ride scenes are still spectacular. And even without the theming, this is a well above average log flume layout. There are several drops along the way. The climactic final one is zippy and visually stunning. Then the indoor one in the dark offers a bit of a freefall sensation. I think the pacing is better on Disneyland's version because there's less dead space in between the main characters, but this one is far more soaking. If you sit in the front 2 or 3 seats, you will get drenched head to toe, so be warned. Number 2. Hyperion at Europa Park. This coaster is all about quality over quantity. The first 4 elements may be the best sequence of any coaster. I was stunned just how much I was out of my seat. The first drop is my new favorite drop on any coaster. It offers intense ejector airtime and laterals simultaneously. Then the implement and funky outer bank offer copious amounts of negative Gs as well. And the stall offers loads of hang time. You then hit a trim and have 2 very good bunny hills. But that's it. I love the intense and creative layout. It leaves me breathless, but it's just over too quickly to claim the top spot in this list. And coming in number 1 is Voltron at Europa Park. Whereas Hyperion lacked length, this coaster has plenty of it. The prototype Mach Striker coaster is an extremely long experience, with a diverse layout. The elements are strong in their own, but they also occur in rapid-fire succession. The only chance you have to catch your breath is the turntable midway through the ride. This coaster has 4 launches, including a unique Beyond Vertical one at the start, and a shockingly powerful backwards launch midway through the ride. Then the layout also has 8 inversions. Some offer oodles of hang time, some are super whippy, some offer strong positive Gs, some have airtime, some have laterals, and some have a mix of everything. Then there are plenty of straightforward negative Gs. I particularly love the start of the second half. It is one of the best airtime sequences of any ride. The hills all have strong and very sustained ejector airtime. Then beyond the layout, this coaster has some impressive theming in the queue and pre-launch sequence. This ride is a complete package. The one con were some rough trains, but that issue was pinpointed to specific trains that did not have their suspension fitted yet, and I believe that should be resolved by next year, meaning the experience should be comfortable in every train. So those are the best 15 new for 2024 roller coasters that I experienced. What are your thoughts on this list? What was your favorite coaster to open in 2024? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this countdown, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.